Everyone in this room at some point in their life has heard the term GMO, but that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone knows exactly what that term entails and whether or not GMOs are healthy and if they're safe to consume. And I'm sure people also have questions about whether or not GMOs should be forced, whether or not companies should be forced to label GMO products. And I'll be getting into a few of those topics today. So let's start off with some stats. 92% of corn, 94% of soybeans, and 75% of processed foods found in supermarkets in the United States are genetically modified. And this is according to data from the Center for Food Safety's website, which was last updated in 2017. So what are GMOs? A GMO stands for genetically modified organism. And according to a page titled GMO Education, which is found on the Institute for Responsible Technology's website, a GMO is the result of a laboratory process where genes from the DNA of one species are extracted and artificially forced into the genes of an unrelated plant or animal. How did GMOs start? In the article A Brief History of GMOs, written by Alicia Bushak, published in 2015, she says that humans have been genetically modifying crops since ancient times. Over thousands of years, through different farming techniques, humans have just been modifying crops even without their knowledge. Why do we use GMOs? So we use GMOs because they offer us more food and because there's less crop death. Plants are also easier to grow because they're resistant to forms of pesticides and also different other weeds or bugs. We also end up with larger plants that often have longer shelf lives. And according to the article GMOs, Pros and Cons by Tracy Colbert, published in 2016, she says that genetically engineered seeds lead to food that is larger, more vibrant, longer lasting, and even has some that also has other genetic modifications, such as seedless fruits, such as seedless watermelons and seedless grapes. So why should we be forced to label GMOs? According to the article GMO Human Health Risk Assessment, published in 2005, Diagnolo tells us that antibiotic-resistant genes are present in genetically modified plants as a result of their use as marker genes to select transformed plant cells. And so what this means is that, so we also said that although the likelihood varies from case to case, there's always a chance that the resistance marker gene will transfer to intestinal bacteria during digestion. And what this means is that some different genetically modified plants are resistant to forms of antibiotics, and when you consume that, then you'll also gain that antibiotic resistance, which can be detrimental to health if you do need those antibiotics at some point later in life. You can also get allergic reactions depending on the type of protein that's being spliced into whatever genetically modified food it is that you're consuming. So if you're, let's say you're not allergic to corn, and you could be allergic to genetically modified corn simply because there's an unknown protein in there. There are also unknown long-term side effects because GMOs haven't been around long enough for us to, we haven't been studying them long enough in order to know the full effects that they have on the human lifetime. So another reason that we should label GMOs is because people should have the right to decide whether or not they want to eat genetically engineered or genetically modified foods. They might not want to eat them for personal reasons or for health reasons, such as a pregnant woman wanting to keep her child safe and wanting them to develop fully. In the article, What You Need to Know About the New GMO Labeling Law by Andrew Alamings, published in 2016, he discusses a proposed law that was proposed by Obama, but it's not into effect yet. It should be into effect within the next year. And under this law, producers are forced to label their GMO products, but they can choose from one of the following four options. They can either write that their product contains GMO, genetically modified organisms, in clear writing, but that's usually companies prefer not to pick that just because it will then turn away their consumer base, and it'll force people that don't want to eat GMO products to not choose them. They can also choose a universal symbol which stands for GMO products, although that hasn't been designed yet. Or they can offer a 1-800 number that customers can call with any questions regarding the whatever is inside the products that they're eating. Or they can put a QR code on the front of the product in which customers can then scan with their phone in order to get more information. This is bad because it makes people less likely to check. With the new technology, such as using your phone in order to discover what's in your products, it makes less people check. And it also makes the knowledge inaccessible to some groups. People that are poor, the elderly, or people that are living in rural communities, or people that don't have access to technology may not be able to understand what's in their food and what it is that they're consuming. A new labeling law should be put into effect with the clear labeling of GMO products required, and with also no corporate loopholes or shortcuts, and no exemptions for small businesses. So what can we do? It's important to be mindful of your diet and to just keep in mind what it is that you're consuming. Do some research on some of your favorite brands or some of the brands that you consume every day just to understand what it is exactly that you're eating. And also, don't support unlabeled GMO products. According to an article written by Christina Sarek, published by the Natural Society in 2014, the top 6 GMO brands are Pepsi, Kellogg's, General Mills, Gerber, yes, the brand that produces baby food, Gerber, Hershey's, and Coca-Cola. And these are just some of the many brands that use GMO products without telling their consumer base. So you can help combat this by shopping organic and shopping from local farmers. And you have the right to choose whether or not you want to consume genetically modified or genetically engineered products, but everyone should have the right to know whether or not they're consuming them. So I hope what you took away from today was that some more knowledge on what exactly genetically modified organisms are and the prevalence that they have in our society today. And I hope you understand the importance of labeling products. And just know that making small changes in your shopping or eating habits can have a large impact on these companies. Thank you.